Hi guys, I have another card and coloring tutorial today, and today I'm gonna do some distress ink watercoloring with a digital stamp called Dreamcatcher by Little Blue Button Stamps. I'm using some drawing gum by Pable to add a mask onto this one. I have printed this out on my brand new Epson printer, which used the Durabright inks, and the Durabright inks are actually waterproof, and also if you let the paper sit for a while, I know 24 hours, I know it works with Copics, so then I can get these other colored outlines, and today I used some brown outlines on my digital stamp. So I'm using a brush that I don't really like, and with the gum, because it will gum your brush, but if you wash it quickly after you've done this, you can actually continue using the same brush for other masking. Then I'm going in and doing some smooshing, and I did this about half an hour after I had done the gum coloring, so I let it dry for about half an hour. Then I did some smooshing, and I'm doing some splatters because I kind of like the organicness of that kind of background. It kind of gives it a little bit more life than if I just have gone over with a brush and have a wash of the color on top. And I used a piece of transparency because that helps you see where you put the color, and also I didn't have to put the paper to the mat, instead I used the transparency to the mat. And then I use my fingers and rub off the drawing gum. There is erasers out there, but it works really good with your fingers. Then I'm going to do the coloring. So I'm starting off with a thin wash of bundled sage and then some chipped sapphire. For the background I used weathered wood, pumice stone, chipped sapphire, and a little bit of ground espresso for the splatters. When I'm doing my little wash of color first, I'm doing it first with the green wash and then with the blue wash, and then I'm going to go in and add details, and I do that after the feathers and stuff have dried, so you can heat it, put it with your heat gun or what you want to do, and I do it with a stronger mixture of the ink so that you get the kind of lines of the feathers in the darker color to give it a little bit more dimension and life. I have a clean little bowl of water just above, and then I just wash my brush in between and I dry it onto a paper cloth when I do these things. For the last details, I'm going to use some walnut stain, and I'm doing that both on the little pearls, which I kind of thought was wooden pearls that is going to have a metallic finish, and then onto the little ring. And when the ring had dried, I went in with the deeper color because you have to let them dry in between. And then I went in with a deeper color to kind of just give it a little bit of dimension. Then I'm going to go in with some Liquitex ink, which is this beautiful copper metallic one. I have a teeny tiny drop, and I could have colored a lot with that teeny tiny drop. So it's a little bit expensive, but you can use it for a long time. And I go in on all the beads and color with that copper colors, including that little pearl onto one of the feathers. And then I'm going to go in with this Kriana Wink white pen. This is by the same company that does Copics. I'll have links down in the description down below, so you don't have to figure out my pronunciation of that name. I have a hard time pronouncing that name. Then I just added some white dots, and that was kind of the finish of the front. I'm going to do a little bit of detailing when I have finished the card. The last thing I'm doing, I'm pulling off my tape, which is a painter tape that is for wallpaper, so it doesn't stick as much to your paper. And then I am cutting the piece down to fit on my card front or card base that I'm going to do in just a little while. The card front, I'm using some dark chocolate cardstock, and I cut it in half, and then I'm going to score it, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, but I accidentally scored it at 3 3/4. But we are going to make that mistake into something beautiful. So I scored and folded that, and then I'm going in and doing another score line about 1/2 inch further away. And then I'm going to do a little bit of detailing with that same white pen to match up with the detailing that is on the feathers. And I recommend, when you give this card, to use a white pen of some sort to write on, because I wanted to keep the dark cardstock dark on the inside. Then I'm using this tape runner, and I added a lot of adhesive on the back side of that because the paper got a little bit warped. So I use a lot of tape to adhere it to my card base. Kind of looks pretty good. And when I've done that, I kind of realized I forgot to add the white detailing on the beads. It's just a little bit of a shine mark, which actually helps the bead to look round without any shading or anything, just that little white mark. Here you can see the nice shininess, metallicness of that ink. And that is the card for today. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please thumbs it up and share it with your friends and all that. And here are 2 other videos with stamps from Little Blue Button Stamps. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!